Good morning. This is Donna, and I wanted to talk a little bit about being overwhelmed today. And I have a blessing, but it's overwhelming. And these red containers are tomatoes that I made into tomato sauce from my garden. And this is a 1 cup, a 2 cup, and a 9 cup container. And I will either freeze or can this later today. Haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet. There's a lot of work producing it, but when winter comes, I'll be very thankful that I did this. And while I was making this, I've since cleaned up my stove, but when I was making the tomato sauce, I had a bubble incident. I was stirring it and the bubbles just splattered all over everything. So this morning I was kind of whining to myself. This is my little kitchen area here. I can't get this done. And I thought, just quit whining and do it. And I decided do first things first. So what was the first thing I really needed to do? And I decided I needed to wipe down my stove. And I see a little spot right here, but my whole stove was pretty splattered after 2 days of tomato sauce. And you know what? For all my whining, it took me 5 minutes to clean it with my trusty washcloth here. So it took me 5 minutes to do that. And then I wiped down areas near the stove. And I'll get to the shredded broccoli in a minute. But it didn't take that long to do it. So anyways, I have the tomatoes cooked. I made tomato sauce and I put basil in the tomato sauce. And I don't normally put basil in it. Oh, it tastes so good. Almost tastes like I bought it at the store. Isn't that awful? It tastes as good as what I bought at the store. I also put in a couple huge cloves from my garden and I cut up some onion. And a little salt. I always put a little sugar in, not a lot. More salt than sugar, and I put a little bit of vinegar in it. And then yesterday, my mom and I went to the food harvest bank in our community, and she didn't want any corn, so I took it all. We each got 4 ears of corn, so I ended up with 8 ears of corn, and I ate some of it last night because I love corn on the cob. And I put the rest in the fridge, and I'm going to cut this up later and put that in the freezer so I will enjoy. It wasn't, you could tell the corn wasn't picked that day, but it's still good. And the Community Food Harvest Bank, this was the first really bad flop I've gotten in quite a while. It is broccoli slaw. Now, I like broccoli slaw. And at first I thought, well, I could kind of do a stir fry with it, add a little meat, throw a package in, and have an oriental stir fry. But I opened up a package yesterday, and I thought I'd just make a broccoli slaw salad. And when I opened it up, it doesn't look the greatest. And if you'll notice, the best buy date is August 24th. Well, yesterday was September 3rd. And my gut feeling said, this really isn't good. So I ate a few bites of it, and I did not get sick. So I guess it wasn't really, really bad, but it just doesn't look good. And I've made the difficult decision to throw it out. I've got 3 packages of this. And I guess the moral of the story is when you have shredded food, like the broccoli, the fresh broccoli slaw, the shelf life just isn't as good as something in the whole product. For example, an ear of corn still has the husk on it and everything. And I got some fresh blueberries and blackberries, and they can go a little longer than the sell-by date as long as you keep them refrigerated. And I've learned if you put them in a glass container, I love my Pyrex. I use my Pyrex glass containers a lot, and they really do keep fruit and veggies fresh for about a month. It's not an excuse to keep it in there that long, but it does keep them fresher. So I'm going to throw this out, which I hate to do, but I've decided it really isn't good for human consumption. Back to the blackberries. Here's the blackberries, and this is what I'm going to do. I made the blackberries into a pie recipe. When I made the black raspberry pie filling, I put them in these little cupcake papers, and I put them in the freezer, and then after they froze, I just bagged them up into some Ziploc bags, and when I get ready to eat them, I pop them in the microwave for about 30 seconds, or you could let them sit out for a little while till they thaw out. And then I put them in my Greek yogurt, and they taste really good. The black raspberry pie filling has cinnamon in it and sugar, and it tastes good, so I don't need to do anything to it. It's ready to go. So I just wanted to update you on that. This is my recipe that I use for making pie filling, and I found this recipe in a magazine, I don't know, 45 years ago, and I really like it. And the first 4 lines are to make the crust, and it's the crust you make with quick oats. So this is the reason I like the pies, because I didn't have to roll out pie crust. It's easy to make. And then the remaining ingredients, starting with 4 cups of rhubarb, is the actual pie filling. And you can see in my notes that I've used apple too, but I've used other fruit. I've used peaches, and I recently tried it with the black raspberries, and it was really good. So I'm going to flip this over real quick. And here are the instructions. And for today, we'll focus on number 2. So you combine the fruit, water, salt, spices, and cornstarch and cook over medium heat, stirring often until thickened, about 10 minutes. And this is what I do to make the pie filling. And I will put the recipe down in the comment section. And you could also screenshot this and save it too if you want. But this is what I use, and I really like it. The blueberries, I forgot to tell you what I was going to do with them. There's 3 containers, and I've put them in glass Pyrex containers, or you can use any other glass container. And they do last for 2 or 3 weeks. And I've got some in the fridge that I haven't eaten yet. So I'm going to freeze these, and I'm going to freeze them just like I am going to do with the peppers that I got. I'm going to lay them all out on a cookie sheet, and then when they're frozen, I'll put them into Ziploc bags. So that's that story.